Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Hello, Power Achievers. I'm Pat Council, and on Designing Your Life Today, I'm going to talk about the best way to build momentum. And so right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you that the best way to build momentum is through faith. So before we get into this, I want to remind you guys to get on my email list, because I'm going to be announcing some of the things that we have coming up this month that will help you gain your momentum, keep your momentum, and to get the results that you desire. All right, so let's get into this. As I said, the best way to build momentum is through faith. So with that being said, how do you even get going to begin with? Well, first of all, you have to make a decision, a clear decision, and you have to promise yourself that you're not going to doubt, that it doesn't matter what it looks like. You are going to do your part. You're going to learn what you need to learn. You are going to go through some of the things that you need to go through. And some of those things might include a few obstacles. Just because we have obstacles, that does not mean it's not meant to be. People have this idea that, well, if it was meant to be, it would be easy. Do you know what? If it was meant to be, or if it was easy, that would make it kind of cheap. Don't get me wrong. Some things are easy. Okay. But think about it. Anything that's worth having and truly worth working for, you're going to have to put in the effort. And if it's something that you've never done before, a goal that you've never achieved before, it doesn't feel easy. So prepare yourself for that by making a clear decision and promising yourself that you're not going to doubt. So as I said, the best way to build momentum is through faith. So once you make that clear decision and you decide that, you know what, I'm not going to doubt, because the minute you start doubting, there is no faith. The second thing that you want to think about or imagine is the end results. So in other words, you want to see the end results. The thing that you desire the most. What are the goals that you've set? What goals did you truly want to achieve? Is it a business goal? Is it a personal goal? Is it both? And you may say, well, you know what? I'm not off to a great start this year. Well, take that back. If you've gotten started, you may not be where you thought you would be, but the mere fact that you're still in the game, you are still on your way. So the object of the game is for you to stick to the decision that you've made and then to see the end results. So that means you have to use your imagination and see it as though it already exists. I've shared the scripture before. The Bible tells us to call those things that be not as though they were. And that's part of calling something that be not as though it already exists, or it's already happened, or you already have it. That's going to involve your imagination. So see the end results. So number one, make a clear decision with no doubt. Number two, see the end results. Number three, speak the end results. Now, when I talk about Speaking the end results. And you guys have heard me say this before. Um, I don't mean go out and tell everyone that you know. And I know there are some motivational speakers who say that, but let me explain it a little bit. When I tell you that or suggest that you don't go and tell everyone that you know, and I say that you speak the end results, you're speaking the end results to yourself. Now, if there's somebody you trust and you want to share it with them, because sometimes people open their mouths and they say things that talk you out of something that you're really excited about, and they kind of poke a hole in your excitement. But here's the thing. The reason why I'm saying you don't want to go and speak it to everyone else, because when we're talking to other people and telling everybody what we intend to do, exactly what do we expect to come out of that? Why are we doing that? Because we think what? That everybody's going to cheer us on. Everybody's going to say, great, go for it. There will be some people who will tell you to go for it and they will mean it. There'll be some people that will say great, and in their heads, they're thinking you can't do it. And then there are some people who will blatantly tell you it is a waste of your time. So with that being said, when we talk about speaking something and speaking the end results, you know what? You are having a conversation with your spirit. You're having a conversation with your soul. Remember, I've shared that the spirit, that's where your ideas and intuition exist. Your soul is your mind, will, and emotions. So that's where you start to speak it so that you can feel it, your emotions. You have to have this feeling that this is a done deal. You have to be so excited to the point that you just keep going no matter what, because you can see it. It's almost like you can touch it, okay? And you see it in your mind. And the ideas that are going to come from your spirit and the promptings that are going to come from your spirit, it's because you've imagined this thing and because you're speaking it and you're giving a command. When we speak, whether we recognize it or not, we're commanding things. We're commanding that something happens. We're decreeing something into our lives. That's why when a person calls themselves lazy, or they call themselves ugly, or they call themselves something that's not nice, and then they wonder why their life is not working out, or why they wake up every single day and they're so miserable until they don't know what to do, or why they wake up confused. Because in their mind, they're thinking, you know what, I should be further along in my life. What is going on? Because they're speaking something. They're decreeing something. They're decreeing something that's against their very success. Remember, I often say you are built by design to win. So if you're built by design to win, why don't you go with that flow? When you're speaking something, and you're speaking it in result, part of speaking that in result is saying, this is good, well done. Not going and telling everyone else, but tell yourself, well done. And if you say, wow, that's kind of weird. Well, we're made in the image of God. And each time God created something, he said, it's good. He never said, yeah, I don't think I did a good job on that. Go back and read it. Go and read it yourself if you haven't read it. And if you have, go back and read it. It's in Genesis. And he said, and it was good. He saw that it was good. And so this is why you want to speak the end results. And of course, I have a fourth one for you. And the fourth one, and all of this falls under faith, you guys. See, when you speak something, when you see something, you're feeling it. And all of a sudden, things start to seem to align. Now, of course, the caveat in this case, and you guys probably already know what it is, you still have to do the work. Because the fourth one says, keep your commitment to fulfill your desired and decided on results. If you desire to get results, if you've decided on these results, you have to do the work. There has to be some action that's taken. There has to be some kind of work on your part that says, you know what, I believe this wholeheartedly. Think about it. If you are hungry, do you think that, oh no, you know what, I'm so hungry, but I'm afraid to go and look in the refrigerator and get some food? Or do you just get up, you decide what you want to eat and you go get it? Even if you have to go out and get it sometimes. Okay. It's faith that, hey, food's in there. You don't give it a second thought. So think about some of the other things. If you want to watch television or something like that, you turn it on, trusting that, hey, you know what? It's plugged in. There's some electricity. It's going to come on. And guess what? I'm going to watch a show that I like. Or I'm going to find one. I'm pretty sure I'm going to find one because now we have so many streaming apps and we have thousands of shows that are out there. So when you don't think, oh my goodness, oh, I'm going to turn on the TV. It is plugged in and it's a working television, but I don't know. You don't give it a second thought. This is how you are supposed to think about achieving a goal. And this is how you build that momentum. You see, once you, in your heart of hearts, believe that this is possible, and you start to take action, the object of the game is to keep going and to keep seeing and to keep speaking. There are times when I will talk to myself, okay, not to anyone else, but to myself. If there are certain promises I made, for example, I said I would go to bed a lot earlier. And so one of the things I have to do is, because I have a tendency to stay up super late and then expect that I'm going to get up early the next day. Well, it's not going to happen. So because I want to get up earlier, then you know what? If I'm staying up past a certain time, I tell myself, go to bed, Pat. No matter what business I'm in, there are times when I have to talk myself into doing something that I know I have to do in order to achieve a certain goal. And I talk to myself and I don't give myself a lecture. I just tell myself, this needs to be done. So let's do it. Let's just do it and get it over with. You see, when it comes to you building momentum, part of building momentum is using what you already have. And what you have is the imagination. You have the ability to see an outcome, and you have that amazing voice. Okay. Your amazing voice, and you have the ability to speak an outcome. Okay. You also have your soul, which is your mind, will, and emotions, which means you have the ability to feel an outcome, and you have the ability to feel what it feels like to keep a commitment to yourself and to remind yourself how important it is to keep a commitment that you made to yourself. Now, let me give you this is kind of a caveat, but kind of a little compassionate tip, if you will. Sometimes if you're doing something you've never done before, or you're doing something that you may not exactly be excited about, even though you must do that in order to kind of cross that bridge over to where you desire to be, sometimes we fall a little short. So here's the thing. This is why you speak it. You see, you can build your momentum by speaking it. Okay. Now, one thing I left out, so I do have a bonus, which is number 5. And number 5 is, so I talked about speaking. I talked about seeing. So when we're talking about speaking, seeing, and feeling and all of this, making that commitment, that's a commitment is not just a verbal promise that you're making to yourself, but it is like this internal feeling that you get that, you know what, I said I was going to do this and I need to do it. And so you feel something. But number 5 is hear the results. So the Bible tells us faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. So 2 things. Number 1, you want to kind of record the promises that you made to yourself. And number 2, and this is what I do, you guys. And number 2, I usually find a scripture that supports what I'm saying, and I record that as well. And I'm listening to it, and it will build my faith, and it makes me stronger. It gets me excited. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this thing. And the next thing you know, I've got my list of things to do, and I am so on it. Now, I'm using myself as an example because I do understand what it's like to step out there and say you're going to do something and you're not getting it done. In order for you to get something done, in order for you to move something from point A to point B, there has to be momentum. If there is no faith, there is no momentum because you don't believe it's possible. When we don't believe something is possible, then we give ourselves reasons to quit. We tell ourselves we're not good. We tell ourselves it takes too long. We make up some of the kind of whiniest, lamest excuses for not getting something done. And the sad part about that, it's something that we're called to do. And it's something that we're capable of doing. And it's something that we love doing. I've met people who love doing something and they don't follow through on it because they don't have faith. So how can you get momentum if you have no faith in your ability to make something happen? So the best way to build momentum is to strengthen your faith. And when you're seeing it, hearing it, feeling it, all of that, speaking it, that momentum's going to come. Whenever you feel like you're sliding away from the goal that you set and you start speaking it, you speak it and say, wow, I love my whatever, fill in the blanks, whatever that thing is. Wow, I'm super excited that I'm on my way to achieving. Wow, I'm super excited that I've already achieved this. And you say, well, if I haven't achieved it already, why am I saying I already achieved it? Because you have faith. You know it's a done deal. You see, we spend too much time worrying about the how, and we're going to wrap up on this. We spend too much time worrying about the how. How am I going to get it done? I have no idea. I've never done this before. This takes work. Oh my goodness, it's so much. So it's funny how we have the ability to speak life into our goals and into, or speak life into an outcome. But we use our ability, which is a very powerful ability, okay? Our ability to speak something, we use it to speak the exact opposite. So stop and think about this. So I want to encourage you to write down in what areas of your goal achievement journey, what areas could you stand to start to build some momentum? What areas are you talking yourself out of, or what things are you talking yourself out of doing because you're actually afraid to do it? You see, by the way, we know fear is the opposite of faith. And when you have that fear, you don't see an end result. You don't see it. You don't speak it. You speak against it. You don't feel it. And so your energy is sending you towards the very thing that you don't want when you operate in fear. So it's so important to build that faith because that is the best way for you to build momentum. Listen, that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, get on my email list, go to designingyourlifetoday.com, and the box will pop up and you put your information right in there, or type the word join into your SMS texting and add the email, your email address, and then send the text to 904-787-6055. That's the word join. Add your email address and then text it to 904-787-6055. That way you guys can get on my list because I'm going to be announcing some of the great things that I have coming up. I'm also going to be sending out an email of some of the things that I have coming up. And sometimes I put things in the email that I don't talk about on this podcast. So you will want to be on the list. And that way you can get your momentum going. You can keep your momentum. And before you know it, you're doing life with power. And you are super confident because you know you are built by design to win. You guys have a magnificent day.